So the second part to that, if if you're struggling to stay focused, part one we talked about finding your why, which I do with all my clients. We talk about that. Part two is more a kind of logistical, technical part of the program. So things you need to pay attention to. If you're losing motivation and losing focus, there's three things you need to pay attention to: your sleep, how you feel, and your motivation to train. Okay, those are three really important things. Okay, and probably a fourth thing in there would be recovery as well. If you are constantly redlining every session that you come into the gym, and every session you feel beat up, still beat up from the last session, you maybe need to take a little deload. Now, don't stop lifting weights, because what happens is if you take a rest for a week, that week turns into 2 weeks, and then that 2 weeks turns into a month. And then, now, if you've got a coach to keep you accountable, that might be different. But if you're trying to do this by yourself, I wouldn't do that. I would try not to, because you'll lose the rhythm. You need probably 7 to 10 days of light workouts if you're feeling beat up all the time. Are you sleeping well? Has your sleeping pattern changed from a month ago? Because that's another sign that you've built up a residual level of fatigue, um, and you're redlining things a bit too much in the gym. And then thirdly, are you having to just white knuckle discipline get yourself through the gym? The gym should be like, now, whether that's you enjoy the community, or you enjoy actually getting stronger, or you enjoy pushing yourself, there should be something you enjoy about going to the gym. Like at Morecambe Barbell Club, a lot of people say it's the community that they really enjoy. A lot of people here they're not gym bunnies. They're not like gym people. We have some. We have a really wide range of people, but a lot of people um, they know they should go to the gym because it's good for them. But what gets them being consistent is the community that we have here, and they get to interact with me. They get to interact with other people during their sessions. And we're building that small community. So is your motivation trained? So that is a sign that you probably need a deload. You may need to change up the program significantly. If your program's getting a bit stale, it may require that. But we're not talking about that this shouldn't happen um like every 4 weeks. If this happens every 4 weeks, you need to go back and watch part one and talk and think and find your why. If you're getting bored with your training every 4 weeks, there's something fundamentally that you haven't dug down deep enough into you that you need to go back and address. So this is part two. So we need to do that. Right. So are you sleeping enough? Are you motivated to train when you come here? Motivated to work hard? And how beat up are you? And then your recovery. Are you eating enough food? So when you've got to look at those four questions and ask yourself, well, okay, my sleep's a 4 out of 10. My motivation to train is like a 1 out of 10. Um, my diet's been pretty poor. I've been having too many. I've not been eating enough protein. Or I've not been eating enough calories. I've been eating too many calories. Like, so whatever your protein, your diet will depend on what your goal is. And then fourthly, are like, how's your body feeling? Now, if you're like sleeping well, eating well, and your motivation's high to train, and you're feeling beat up all the time, 100%, you need a deload. You need a deload, because otherwise you're just going to push yourself. You're like, that's probably the worst situation to be in, because you will push yourself so hard that you will injure yourself, and then you're going to put yourself back. So you need to be really careful with those. Um, if you're just not training very hard, chances you injure yourself are pretty low. Anyway, that's my thoughts on what you need to do if you're kind of losing focus and you're starting to hit a rough patch. Love to know your thoughts on what you do for that, and I'll speak to you all later.